Hi, welcome to our webinar for Job Shadow hosts. My name is Julie Tizzoli. I'm from the class of 1985, the Manager of Employer Relations and Alumni Career Development in the Career Planning Center at Fairfield University. Congratulations, you've been matched. Now what? The purpose of this webinar is to give you a quick tutorial on how to be the best Job Shadow host that you can be. We have heard feedback from students over the past 5 years and wanted to share tips on a successful experience. So we're going to review how you got here, what happens next, how should you communicate with your students, and how should you go about planning your day. So how'd you get here? Well, you applied, and we are grateful to our over 300 alumni volunteers that apply each year. I will quickly to review our matching process. It is based on the selections that the students made for location and their career interests, as well as companies and or industry. We run a query and to do initial matching, and then finally we go through each match individually to make sure that it makes sense for both the students and the alums. So what happens next? On November 14th or 16th, we are having mandatory orientation sessions. Students are going to receive their alumni match at this time, and on that piece of paper they will get will be your information, your contact information, and what you filled out on your profile form. We're going to go over a comprehensive view of best practices for a successful job shadow experience. We're going to give the students instructions on how to communicate with the alumni. And finally, following the orientation, each student will have a resume review by a career counselor. So they will be bringing their resumes with them. After that, your students will be contacting you by November 29th. If you don't hear from your student, please contact me, Julie Tizzoli, to let me know ASAP or right after the 29th if you don't hear from them. Students can be very nervous at this stage, which may lead them to putting their introduction off until the very last minute. By letting us know that you haven't heard from your student, we can intervene to find out what the issue might be so it can be resolved. And finally, please respond back to your student right away to set up your date. You may want to connect at least one more time before the actual day, but you'll want to get the conversation started. So what we found out is communication is key to success at this point. Your student will be contacting you to set up the date, the time, and the place. Giving your student details as to dress code, location, schedule of the day, all helps to set the expectations from the very start. For those of you who have offered to host more than one student, you will need to be extra organized to keep track of the communication with multiple students. Some of the things you should cover is the agenda, so they know what they're where they're expected to be and what they can expect for the day, the best way to get there, and obviously what they should wear. We have recommended business attire, but we've also stipulated that if you're going to a hospital or a school, that it may be different than business attire. So if you could reinforce what you expect, that would be great. So what can you be doing right now? You can double check with your HR department on policies for hosting a guest for a day so that you're prepared. You can check to see if there's any paperwork that needs to be completed by the student in advance of their visit so that you can have that ready to give to the student, give them plenty of time to fill it out. You are going to be choosing some dates, looking at your calendar, making sure you can accommodate or offer some dates. And begin designing your job shadow day experience. So contact some colleagues to participate with you, possibly HR, other alumni that work with you, different departments, etc. We'll go into this a little more detail. So tips for arranging a great day. We have done quite a bit of research in our surveys and have found out some great feedback, so we wanted to share it with you. So create an agenda and send it to the student in advance. Secondly, networking is a big part of the experience. So we suggest that you schedule some meetings with some colleagues. Students love to hear from many different perspectives. This also can give you a break from having the student with you, constantly with you for the whole day. It'll break it up so that you can do a little bit of work yourself. Scheduling time with HR is really important if you can, and if your HR department is obviously amenable to it. It'd be great if they can talk about future opportunities at the company you're with, or just to talk about industry hiring trends, maybe look at their resume, maybe review some application tips or resume tips or interview tips. Very helpful. At the end of the day, sit down with your student, review the day, ask if they have any questions, ask them more questions. Really take this time to maybe explore potential career paths within the organization and or the profession as a whole. And talk about your own career path since Fairfield U. I know you're going to probably do this all day with them, but it's really great to share your own path and to help them with theirs. It's extremely helpful and part of the wonderful experience of the day. And finally, if you're comfortable and you can do it, please offer to be a future resource for your student. They do appreciate it, and even if it's not, that next week or month that they contact you, possibly down the road, it'd be a great resource for somebody. The purpose of the program is to build their networks. So some of you are only able to provide a lunch or a time, off-site, and that's okay. But to set expectations, we advise the student in advance if it is an option, if it is the option that you can provide, which is an off-site meeting. But many of the same ideas apply, for your conversation at that time. So discuss current trends, describe your career path, discuss any internship or job opportunities, and another really important step is to offer to connect students with coworkers or fellow alumni that you know in the field so that they have something to follow up with and possibly get even more information. One of the last things we ask you to do, if you have a great experience and you have the opportunity to, please take pictures. In the pictures, we ask that you, if possible, can get your company logo in the background. Use a high-resolution camera, your iPhone, but at least use the high-resolution setting. And please send them to me for after. We'd like to put these, even if you could do it that day and send it, we like to put them on Instagram and get the students excited, even the future students excited about the program. They will also possibly end up on a poster someday as well. So it'd be great to have your participation in the pictures. Okay, so finally, if you have any questions, any comments, I'm here for you. Please contact me. Here's my email and here's my phone number. So most of all, thank you and have fun. We couldn't do it without you. So go Stags.